Thank you very much, and welcome, Professor Thygesen. I was reading your report last week, and honestly, I think that this is very, very interesting and very relevant in the current circumstances. My question is related to the review of the Stability and Growth Pact, because my first concerns with the current rules, and maybe with the future rules, is that if we only apply fiscal rules to 19 fiscal national policies, maybe the final result of the fiscal stance as a eurozone level maybe will not have any relationship with the situation that the eurozone as a whole will need. So I think that we need any other instrument to facilitate that the consolidation of 19 fiscal policies has any any economic rationality to manage the cycle at a eurozone level. For this reason, I think that the debate on the future of the Stability and Growth Pact will need a consideration on the future of the next generation EU, because I think that the next generation EU can be at a European instrument to guarantee that we will have a fiscal stance at a eurozone level with an economic rationality. And I think that in this debate, and here is my friend Marcus is with us, I think that at least I am open to analyze the prudential treatment of the national public debt. But for that, we will need a European safe asset, trying to guarantee that we will have two levels, one level and a national, with the fiscal rules that we will decide, maybe with another prudential treatment for sovereign debt, but we will need another level at the eurozone to guarantee that we are able to manage the cycle, maybe with a permanent next generation EU, with, of course, a European safe asset in this context without any change of the current rules of the prudential treatment of the European sovereign debt. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fernandez. The decision that the European Union is now borrowing in its own name, using the combined creditworthiness of all member states, is indeed a massive innovation, and one that also changes the background to the European fiscal rules, because it sets a new standard. It diminishes the financial risks to public finances that was such a main feature after the financial crisis of a decade ago. So this is a major step forward, and I think we can be sure that funds that are raised in this way will be indeed be the safe assets that we have been looking for, and quite a large size, should even the next generation EU end in a few years. So that is a new development, and I think we can guarantee, given the outlook also on the basis of the relatively slow growth and the low interest rate environment, that this will be one that will make for low interest rates for quite some time. What, of course, cannot be guaranteed only by the new existence of a safe asset is that the risk premia that go on top of that in a number of countries with doubts about their longer-term financial prospects, whether they will also be able to stay low. And here again, there are elements in the new situation that are comforting. One is, of course, the emphasis now on growth, which will make the growth rate hopefully somewhat higher than it has been in the past. And the other is the assurance that there will be a pull downwards also for interest rates in the countries with weak public finances. But that is precisely, I think, the reason that in order to assure that and build on these assumptions, we do need to have some fiscal rules that also maintain some form of a debt target for the longer-term future. But it needs to be differentiated more than in the past, and therefore one important part of our recommendation this year is an elaboration of our earlier stance that you need to have a more differentiated objective for the debt adjustment targets of countries. It is not really realistic at a time when debt ratios, actual debt ratios have jumped up by 15 to 20% in many countries, that you can maintain the same pace of adjustment towards a low debt target as we could in the past. So also this factor needs some careful reflection, but the environment for doing so is relatively more pleasant and favorable as a result of the European initiatives that you mentioned, Mr. Fernandez. Thank you.